piece for the NHS, and that's now achieved, I think, 64,000 views to date. So a digital strategy was needed. It actually, lockdown gave us the chance to take a step back, say, okay, we're great at doing the normal marketing, PR, all of that. We haven't been so great at doing the digital.
Yeah.
And this is the way forward. We have to do it.
Is there an element of that, you know, not to say anybody is thankful for the COVID pandemic coming along. I mean, nobody can ever say that. But is there, it's sort of forced everyone in every business, I think, a little bit out of their comfort zone and forced people to try things that they hadn't tried before, because it was like, oh, but you know, we don't do that, we've never done that. I don't see how it can work. Suddenly, whenever you can't put bums on seats in a venue, you're like, well, you know what, we have to now try these things. And I mean, the collaboration with Ryan's an interesting one. I mean, I saw Ryan playing up at the Dalfest Festival, and you know, he's got a very engaged, a very loyal following.
Yes.
And I mean, in terms of expanding your audience and the reach, I'm sure that's been a big help in terms of opening new audience opportunities to people who would never have maybe come across the orchestra before, but because of the collaboration with Ryan are now aware of what you're doing and could potentially try and explore some of the other things.
Absolutely. And again, when I first started with the orchestra, one of the main things I wanted to tackle was to break down that reputation of being elitist. And, you know, people on stage in penguin suits and only the rich people went to listen to them. And no, that's not what we wanted, because we'd already done a lot of work in the community and schools, and we continue to do that. I mean, we've been doing workshops with prisoners and Hyde Bank, and our learning and community development team are just phenomenal in what they have achieved, and we need to shout even louder about all of the community stuff that we do. And again, it's really interesting to look at the demographics of our audience and see how it's changing. I mean, we have a concert tonight in the Ulster Hall, and yes, we know the average person what they look like to go to a core classical concert. Our pops concerts are much more varied. A lot of families would go to pops concerts, and young couples, middle-aged couples on nights out or whatever, so it's really varied, yes. But collaborations is the key, because it helps us tap in to those other artists' followers, especially on the social media, that we can almost ride on the coattails. Lush.
I was going to bring you on that, because obviously both of our Korean experiences.
I tell you, that was,
you know,
know every lyric of every song.
Probably, I mean, I met my wife on the dance floor in Kelly, so
did you?
It's a wonder that survived. Lush Classical has been, you know, it's been a mainstay in my calendar. I mean, the tickets that I have for 2022 now are the tickets that I originally bought for 2020. We were there for the first 2 or 3, I think. And I was, because I go to Ulster Orchestra concerts, the core classical ones as well.
Yeah.
And I was always amazed. Part of me standing on the floor in the Odyssey with 10,000 people, and the brilliant, I can't remember the names of the two ladies, the two sisters.
I know them well, Jolene and Philippa.
They're fabulous.
They are.
They are absolutely fabulous. The whole performance, and I was almost paying more attention to the faces of the orchestra musicians to see, because the reaction they were getting, you don't get that reaction.
Well, the players have said they feel like rock stars, and quite rightly too.
I mean, that for me was a brilliant collaboration.
It was a brilliant collaboration in terms of profile raising, and people saying, "Oh, the Ulster Orchestra, that's brilliant." The amount of crossover from people going to Lush to people going to our concerts, it's quite hard to measure. Obviously, we've tried, you know, and it would be great if they all decided to come to Ulster Orchestra concerts, but you're never going to get that. We were also the band, as we say, for an ABBA show in the SSE as well that I went to, which was great. But On the collaborations front, we're trying again to be more tactical, and we just launched our new online series called Salon Sessions, and that's purely online, and that's small ensembles of the orchestra working with a variety of different artists, from poetry readings to singers, songwriters. The first one went out and it was with Neve Dunn, who's in the band Byoga, and she had written four songs that we arranged, and then they were performed and recorded in Titanic Hotel and put out on YouTube.
Is that in the drawing room you do that?
Yeah. And it was lovely, and it was great, and it was something really different. So not only is it helping us expand our audience, but we want to then work with local artists and help give them a platform and help boost their careers too.
And is that the key? I mean, because there is that, you've mentioned it, that traditional view of the orchestra audience. I mean, does it really matter if the people who go to Lush Classical don't come to the Ulster Orchestra to hear Messiah Christmas?
Well, they're not going to do that. Mm-hmm. It would be nice if we could try to get them across. Yeah. But I think Lush is more of a profile event.
And I mean, I want to bring you on to the next one next week, and there's a number of things that fascinate me about this, about the Mass event. Mm-hmm. The first is obviously the collaboration with Conor Mitchell. I mean, I've had some dealings with Conor as part of some work he's done with Arts and Business NI and Herbert Smith Freehills.